Hello. Okay. So this part is not like 3 parts. I'm just going to give like a little art history PSA, kind of explain the poem, and then read it for you. First, we can raise of hands. How many of you have heard of Salvador Dali? Okay, he was a terrible person. I have a list of all of the terrible things he did, and I want to share that with you because I feel like it will really inform the poem. First on the list, animal cruelty. He would throw cats in the air and then dunk them into buckets of water for art. Yeah. Also a long history of physical abuse. When he was 6 years old, he kicked his sisters in the head like a ball, he said. He actually admitted that he himself did it when she was 3 years old. He also pushed a boy off of a bridge. I think he survived, but it was a high bridge, is what he said. He also, his words, yes. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, okay, he admitted, this is his, he used the word trampled to describe what he did to a woman after tearing out her skin, not tearing out her skin, but like tearing at her skin until she bled because she said he had nice feet.
Oh.
Like, yeah, this guy's crazy. If that's not crazy enough, he was a fascist. He was a Hitler sympathizer and pro-concentration camp in Spain. Yeah. George Orwell, the guy who wrote 1984, called him a try-hard Napoleon.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, a terrible person. But in case you didn't know anything about him, he was known for like his paintings. He was like surrealist mostly. He did multimedia, but his paintings were like the main thing that people like know him for. He was interested in like death, decay, like those droopy clock things. That's him, basically. He also like talked a lot about how he would have like he championed irrational knowledge, which doesn't make any sense to be honest. And he would talk about how like he doesn't know what he was painting, he would just paint it. And my whole project is basically like saying, oh, not necessarily saying that what he painted, but like taking what he painted and giving new meaning to it, basically. I'll show you the painting that I'm working on. This is an ekphrastic poem, so I'm basically in conversation with this piece here. I'm gonna turn the music on in a more appropriate here. Play. Okay, cool. So, basically I wrote a poem that like turns each of the subjects into a mythological person, basically. How many of you know who Sappho is? Good, that's an appropriate response. How many of you know who Daphne is from ancient myth? Okay, she was basically this nymph that like got chased by Apollo, the god of the sun, and ended up turning into a tree in order to like escape being raped by him. And I envisioned her as this character because like they had a head of flowers, and it's kind of hard to see, but like the arm kind of looks like a branch, and that's part of the poem as well. I also took a character called Mithras, who is like, he's actually the reason why we celebrate Christmas on the 25th, because it was actually his birthday. He was a god of like light and the sun kind of thing. So I imagine this like little white figure in the background to be Mithras. So yeah, I will read you the poem now. Okay. Here comes the sun. The Sappho, well, she worries there's no one left to read her work. She holds her brown hair back with one long hand, with painted nails of bright orange polish. Painted in a tube dress of stars and mud, the skin on her back grows warm by the sun. Dark and scattered with yellows and blues. Her dress loosely wrapped at the hips by a bright red sash. A glass arm rests on the chair standing beside her. And a table in the distance balances for breakfast. She gives her eye to the lion head. An awful cyclops, half-blind Leontocephalus, see its golden mullet and open maw. She'd like to go inside and read the pointed stones that have thrashed many a poised poet to pieces. In between 3 tall mountains, their shadow and branches warmed by Apollo, coupled crags distinct against blue, and a blue, oh, so dark. See twilight dawning in the sky far away, especially far. Daphne knows she's right, and has been posing to prove her point, draped in iridescent green chiffon and wearing just one long red stocking coming apart by the seams, showing off her pink thong, and her nacreous skin shines with a moisturized confidence. She holds her branch of an arm out of view, wearing the many white gloves cut from suitors who tried to climb her trunk as trophy bracelets, shielding her face from him with a bouquet of luscious roses in shades of yellow, pink, white. And have you ever considered the dark cranberry reds that bloom in the flesh of those who are discarded, buried beneath the next draft of his story, to be found by the morning sun and never to smile again? See specifically Mithras at the center of that web, a faceless white man, hero, god. In the shadow of a shade, gone or to come, lies a hat. It's kind of small, but there's a hat there. And the lion is unhappy because we couldn't, shouldn't, will not crown him. Salvador Dali, 1935.